Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel Coin Purchaser, where we dive deep into the world of coins, currency, and hidden treasures right in your pocket change. If you're holding onto a jar of old pennies or maybe just got some back in change at the grocery store, listen up, because today we're going to talk about a coin that might look ordinary but could be worth way more than just 1 cent. I'm talking about the 1995 D Lincoln penny. At first glance, this coin seems like every other copper-colored cent we've all seen a million times. But what if I told you that some of these coins are highly collectible, potentially worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars? That's right. Today we're going to peel back the layers and dive into the fascinating story, history, and current market value of the 1995 D Lincoln penny from Denver. So grab your coin jar, because you just might be sitting on a small fortune without even knowing it. Let's start by going back a little in time. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln. It was the first U.S. coin to feature the face of a real historical person. Before that, Lady Liberty was the star. The coin was designed by Victor David Brenner, and it's had a few updates over the decades, but the basic structure has remained familiar. In 1959, the reverse design was changed from wheat stalks to the Lincoln Memorial, a design that lasted until 2008. This means the 1995 D penny features the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side. The letter D underneath the year stands for the Denver Mint, which produced over 7 billion pennies that year. Yes, that's billion with a B. So how could a coin that common be valuable? Keep watching. 1995 is a standout year in the world of Lincoln cents for a few reasons. First off, it's a transitional time for coin production. The United States Mint had been switching from mostly copper-based cents to copper-plated zinc cents since 1982 due to rising copper prices. So by 1995, the composition was firmly established as 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper. But what really gets collectors excited is the fact that 1995 is the year of the famous doubled die obverse now. This particular doubled die is more famously found on the 1995 Philadelphia minted coins, not the Denver ones, but the spotlight on the 1995 pennies has made people pay much more attention to all 1995 cents, including those minted in Denver. And here's where it gets interesting. Although the 1995 D is not known for the doubled die, there are still plenty of valuable era coins and varieties within that year's Denver batch. Now let's get into what really matters: the money. What makes a simple 1995 D Lincoln penny worth more than face value? There are a few key factors to look out for. Number 1, condition. If your penny is in near perfect condition, called mint state, it can fetch several dollars. A 1995 D in MS67 or higher has sold for more than $100. That's because coins in pristine condition are incredibly rare, especially for modern pennies that have been in circulation. Collectors are always on the hunt for the highest grades. Number 2, errors and varieties. Some 1995 D pennies were struck with off-center designs, die cracks, cuds, or other striking issues. An off-center strike where part of the design is missing could be worth anywhere from $10 to $100 or more, depending on how dramatic the error is. A coin with a large die break or cut where a piece of the die falls off and leaves a blob-like feature on the coin can be highly desirable to error collectors. And number 3, eye appeal. Coins with rich red luster, full original shine, and no spotting or damage are more attractive to buyers. Even if your coin isn't a high mint state grade, strong eye appeal can still bring a premium. So what are these coins actually selling for right now? A regular 1995 Lincoln penny in circulated condition is typically worth just face value. However, once you get into uncirculated territory, things get a lot more interesting. Coins graded MS65 by PCGS or NGC often sell for $10 to $20. An MS66 might go for $30 to $60, and an MS67 example can bring in $150 or more. In fact, one example graded MS67 red sold for over $200 at auction, and those are just the regular coins. If you have a coin with a major error or rare variety, especially something like an off-center strike, a broad strike, or a die cap, you could be looking at $500 or more. The right buyer, at the right time, can drive up the price even higher. Now here's the fun part: how do you know if your penny is one of the valuable ones? Start by looking at the date and mint mark. If it says 1995D, you're in the game. Next, examine the coin under good lighting, or even better, with a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. Look for strong luster, and nowhere for higher grades errors like off-center strikes or unusual blobs or cracks doubling, especially on the letters and numbers. Even though the famous doubled die is found on 1995 Philadelphia pennies, it's still a good idea to check all lettering closely. If you think you've found something special, consider sending it to a third-party grading service like PCGS or NGC for authentication. So what's the future for the 1995 Lincoln penny? Believe it or not, demand for modern coinage is growing among younger collectors. Era coins and high-grade specimens from the 80s and 90s are now gaining popularity because they're relatively affordable and accessible. That means prices could increase as more people begin hunting for high-quality or rare examples. This is especially true for coins with proven auction records and known market value. If you can find a pristine 1995 penny, or one with a dramatic error, holding on to it or even selling at the right time might make for a smart investment. So there you have it, the 1995 Lincoln penny. A coin that most people overlook, but one that could be hiding in plain sight with far more value than a single cent. From its place in American numismatic history to its potential worth in the collector's market, this little coin is proof that treasure doesn't always come in gold and silver. Sometimes, it's copper-plated zinc and right in your pocket. If you enjoyed this deep dive into coin history and value, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next coin breakdown. Got a 1995 penny or another coin you want us to analyze? Drop a comment below. We love hearing from the coin community. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of US coins, and this episode is all about a little copper-colored coin that just might be hiding in your pocket or change jar right now. We're talking about the 1983 Lincoln cent, also known as the 1983 Liberty penny. At first glance, it may look like just another ordinary penny, but let me tell you, there's way more to it than meets the eye. You could be holding on to a coin that's worth hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars, and you don't even know it. So make sure you stick around until the very end, because I'm going to tell you everything you need to know, from its incredible history and how to spot a rare variety to how much collectors are paying for these coins today in the current market. Let's begin with a little background. The Lincoln cent has been in production since 1909, originally designed to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Over the decades, the design has remained remarkably consistent, with Lincoln's portrait on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial featured on the reverse from 1959 to 2008. Now, the 1983 penny came just 1 year after a very big change in U.S. coinage history. In 1982, the U.S. Mint transitioned from making pennies out of 95% copper to using a copper-plated zinc composition mainly to save on production costs, because the value of copper was rising and it was getting expensive to keep minting those heavier coins. So here's the deal. Before 1982, Lincoln cents were mostly copper. After mid-1982, they became mostly zinc with a very thin copper coating. That transition year introduced a whole bunch of varieties: large date, small date, copper, zinc, and by 1983, the U.S. Mint was fully into the new zinc-based composition. But here's where it gets interesting. In theory, all 1983 Lincoln cents should be made of copper-plated zinc. But coin collectors and researchers discovered a rare error. A few 1983 pennies were accidentally struck on leftover copper planchets, that is, blank coins intended for the older copper composition. This rare variety is what's known as the 1983 copper penny, and it's a major error coin. It weighs about 3.1 grams instead of the standard 2.5 grams that a zinc penny should weigh. That difference might not sound like much, but in the world of numismatics, it's a big deal. These pennies are extremely rare and highly sought after by collectors. Only a few authentic 1983 copper cents have been confirmed by professional coin grading companies like PCGS and NGC. But experts believe there could be more out there, maybe even in your loose change. So how do you know if you have one of these rare and valuable 1983 pennies? First, check the weight. A copper penny weighs 3.11 grams, while the standard 1983 zinc penny weighs about 2.5 grams. All you need is a good digital scale that reads to 2 decimal places. If you find a 1983 penny that weighs over 3 grams, don't spend it, get it checked by a professional grader. Second, look for errors. Another major variety from 1983 is the 1983 doubled die reverse, a doubling of the design that is most visible in the words 1 cent and E pluribus unum on the back of the coin. If you have one of these, even in average condition, it could be worth serious money. Now let's talk money, the part we're all waiting for. How much are these coins worth today? A regular 1983 penny, in circulated condition, is typically worth face value just 1 cent. But uncirculated or mint-state examples can bring in between 10 cents to a few dollars, depending on grade. However, if you have a 1983 doubled die reverse, values skyrocket. These coins can sell for anywhere from $100 to over $1,000, depending on condition and eye appeal. One high-grade example, graded MS67RD, sold at auction for more than $7,000. Now, and this is a big if, you have a 1983 copper planchet error, then we're talking serious money. In 2013, a certified example sold for over $15,000 at auction. Yes, you heard that right. One single penny, worth more than $15,000, just because it was struck on the wrong metal. So what should you do if you think you've got a rare 1983 penny? First, don't clean the coin ever. Cleaning coins can destroy their value. Next, weigh it. If it's over 3 grams, get it authenticated by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. These companies can confirm whether you have the real deal and assign a grade, which directly affects its market value. You can sell rare coins on eBay, through online coin dealers, at coin shows, or through major auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers. But be careful, make sure you know what you have before you sell it too cheaply. Here's a fun fact you can use to impress your friends. The US Mint makes over 8 billion pennies every year. But among those billions, a few slip through with errors, and those are the coins collectors hunt for. So while most pennies are only worth 1 cent, a lucky few are worth a fortune. So there you have it, the 1983 Lincoln cent, a coin with an ordinary look but a fascinating backstory. From its place in the great copper to zinc transition to the rare and valuable double dies and copper planchet errors, the 1983 penny is one of the most interesting modern coins out there. Check your pocket change. Weigh your coins. Examine the details. You never know, that ordinary looking penny might just turn into a small fortune. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bells so you never miss an update on coins that could change your life. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or if you want me to cover another year or type of US coin. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Today, we're diving deep into a seemingly ordinary coin that might be hiding extraordinary value, the 2001 Lincoln penny. At first glance, it might appear as just another cent, but as we peel back the layers of its history, minting process, and potential errors, you'll discover why this small piece of currency can be worth far more than its face value. Minted at the Denver Mint, the 2001 Lincoln penny is part of the Lincoln Memorial Series, which ran from 1959 to 2008. In 2001, approximately 5.37 billion of these pennies were produced, making them relatively common in circulation. Features a portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. Depicts the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo. 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper. 19.05 mm. While most 2001 pennies are worth their face value of 1 cent, certain conditions and errors can significantly increase their worth. 1. Uncirculated condition. Uncirculated coins, graded MS65 or higher, are in pristine condition with no signs of wear. These can fetch between 30 cents and 50 cents. The most valuable 2001 penny on record was graded MS69 and sold for $1,150 in 2008. Certain minting errors can make a coin incredibly valuable. For instance, a 2001 penny with a mule error, where the reverse die of a Roosevelt dime was used, sold for $96,000 in 2022. A die crack between the B and E in Liberty creates a vertical line resembling the letter I. This error can increase a coin's value to $15 or more, depending on its condition. Double die. This error occurs when the die strikes the coin multiple times, creating a doubled image. In 2001 pennies, doubling is often visible in the date and inscriptions. These coins can be worth between $20 and $50. When a coin is struck off-center, part of the design is missing. A 5% off-center error can be worth up to $10, while a 50% off-center error can fetch up to $100. How to identify and grade your 2001 Lincoln penny. Step 1. Examine the coin's condition, look for signs of wear. Uncirculated coins will have sharp details and no signs of circulation. Use a magnifying glass to inspect for BI errors, doubling, or off-center strikes. Rare 2001 penny errors worth money. Full list coin value checker mint state, but with noticeable imperfections. Gem uncirculated with minimal imperfections. Perfect condition, no imperfections. If you believe your coin has significant value, consider having it graded by a professional service like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC. If you have a high grade or error coin, you might consider selling it. Here are some platforms where you can list your coin: a global marketplace for coins. Heritage Auctions specializes in rare coins and collectibles. Great Collections, an online auction house for certified coins. The 2001 Lincoln penny is more than just a common coin, it's a potential treasure trove for collectors. By understanding its history, recognizing valuable errors, and properly grading your coin, you can unlock its true worth. So, the next time you come across a 2001 penny, take a closer look. It might just be worth more than you think. If you found this information helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more coin collecting tips and insights. And remember, always check your change. You never know what hidden treasures you might find. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy hunting.